We have discussed what is the history behind the Code of Civil Procedure, what is the nature of Code of Civil Procedure. We have discussed the differentiation between the substantive law and the procedural law, and that Code of Civil Procedure, as the name suggests, is a procedural law. We discussed what is the need for having a procedural law, why do we need uniformity in this procedure, and we also discussed a number of different ideals and principles that underpin the Code of Civil Procedure. We looked at ubi jus, ibi remedium. We looked at procedure as the handmaid of justice and not its mistress. We also discussed the constitutional underpinnings of the Code of Civil Procedure. We picked up certain constitutional principles and we saw how these principles are actually exhibited and manifested by the provisions of the Code of Civil Procedure. All of this was an attempt to make you realize that Code of Civil Procedure, as many sometimes think, is not a law divorced from the whole other corpus of law. Code of Civil Procedure operates very much in consonance with other laws in order to serve justice. We also understood that Code of Civil Procedure is not going to operate in isolation. There will be some other laws coming in, like the Limitation Act of 1963, the Indian Evidence Act of 1872, and now Bharatiya Sakshi Adhiniyam of 2023, the Court Fees Act, the Stamp Act, the Registration Act, and of course the substantive law, for example, the Contract Act 1872. They will all come into play to serve justice in order to carry a civil suit forward. Then we moved on to discuss what is the structure of a civil suit. How does a civil suit proceed? How does it progress? Beginning from cause of action, moving on to plaint, moving on to summons, moving on to your written statement, date of first hearing, settlement of issues, then the trial itself, judgment, decree, or then you have appeal and you have your review, and along with it the decree holder will have the execution. We also discussed a list of topics that we are going to discuss throughout this series.